apoyo a la marca trabajar para poder ganar tenemos que trabajar de 10 a 14 horas y pues es demasiado, ¿ok? Perdemos más tiempo con nuestra familia igual y en la actualidad Uber y Lyft tenemos que pelear y estar unidos. Y muchas gracias por venir. Bye.
Thank you, Luis.
Sí se puede, 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 sí se puede.
It's really great. Luis really drove it home for those of us who don't speak Spanish. But, you know, people are working, you know, we're working 40, 50, 60 hours. And then when Uber cut the wages in March, people are now having to work longer than that. So 6.5 days a week is not paying the rent. It's not right. And it hurts families. So what I want to do now is bring up one of our road warriors, a driver and a volunteer driver organizer, Stephanie.
That's right, Chair Professor with the Thanos Club.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Sejas. I've been a driver since the summer from stealing from us. Plain out theft. And now we have a few examples. The driver here, you see this example? The driver here was paid $3.52. Uber received $38.29. I repeat, this is $3.52. That is all the driver got. That is all the driver had. And Uber took $38.29. That is thievery. Flat out.
That ain't right.
20, okay, the passenger paid $79.72. The driver only received $29.50 of that. Thief, robbery. Yeah. I have another example. Where is it? Right today. I took just this week. I was up at 3, 4 in the morning, and I got a scheduled ride. For that scheduled ride, the rider paid $81.25. I was up again at 3, 4 in the morning to take the ride, and I got $46.13.
Wow.
Robbery!
Now, that's because Uber and Lyft thinks they can do whatever they want. And how it is that, okay, what happens to us is that, okay, let's say we're getting ready to go to work. So we get in the car, we turn on the app, but oh, there's an update. We have to sign a contract that Uber and Lyft needed an attorney to manufacture. But we, the drivers, without an attorney, without representation, are forced to sign this because if we don't have access to the platform. So you're not able to pay your bills. So it's either do or die. They practically have a gun to our heads. They're telling us what to do. We are not independent contractors. We are employees because from the time you turn on the app till the time you turn it off, they are dictating everything. And we don't get to negotiate anything. The only thing we get to negotiate is when we turn on and when we turn off the app. And if you think that's enough, I can take you to McDonald's right here and you can pick your schedule. So anyway, my name is Stephanie and we need your help. Thank you.
Hello. We reportedly have a lot of people waiting at the parking lot for the shuttle. Does anybody know where the shuttle is? It's not here anymore, is it? Okay. All right. Thank you, Stephanie. That was awesome. It's awesome because not because it's a good story, but because it's really the stories that we don't hear. A lot of elected officials are talking with Uber and Lyft. Even unions are talking with Uber, Lyft. But what's missing from this equation is the voices of the drivers.
Yes.
And that's why we're committed to make sure drivers are leading this movement against what's happening with Uber and Lyft. And we will fight until there is fairness. I think there's been a lot of voices of rideshare. There's been a lot of voices of rideshare drivers on the internet, basically talking to each other in a lot of different chat rooms, Facebook pages. Acknowledge, we have rideshare guy here. Thank you for your support. We also have a great friend in the movement, Alvaro, who is managing the largest LA Facebook page for rideshare drivers, and he wanted to say a few words today, and we'd love to hear from him.
Hello, everybody. I have the largest rideshare group, Facebook group. I have more than 11,000 drivers. A lot of people been explaining how Lyft and Uber, they're stealing from us. I'm going to explain you guys how the app works. This is how the app works. Lyft and Uber, it costs them $0 to have 10,000 online drivers. $0. So this message is for the drivers out there. If you're probably saying I'm online but I'm not taking rides. By being online, directly or indirectly, you're there. They need you there. Because if somebody needs the service, they want that fare. And they want to take 70% out of that fare. When I started driving 6 years ago, the trust and safe fee used to be 90 cents. They call it trust and safe fee in the days. Now it's called booking fee. The trust and safe fee was for mentors. Mentors, it was like going to DMV. You had to go to a drive test. They would see you, how do you drive, how do you look, how your car look before signing up for them. They were hiring quality drivers. They stopped doing that. Now the trust and safe fee is $2.30, and they don't have no more mentors. They're hiring everybody. What is sad about this movement is that we created a monster that we're trying to defeat today. We give them all the millions that they have. Now we're trying to defeat. Something to remember is, if you go to Walmart, if you go to McDonald's, if you don't go to Home Depot, you see those self-checkout. A lot of people don't realize that these big corporations, they're saving millions of dollars because they don't have cashiers. Do you see them saying, okay guys, we're gonna lower the prices on the items that you purchase every day because we're saving money on the cashiers? They don't do that. They're replacing us with machines, but we're still paying high price for the product that we purchase every day. That's not fair. Lyft and Uber, they're investing billions of dollars on self-driving cars. Billions of dollars every month. So we help them become who they are. We help them make billions of dollars. Right now, they're using that money to replace us. It's not fair. It's not fair. They recruit massive of drivers every single day. They keep recruiting drivers. They always try to make us happy with bonuses. They always try to make us happy with points. They give us points. They say if you do one ride, you're gonna make 60 cents per mile, but you're gonna get 3 points. What are we gonna do with those points? Are we gonna pay our rent? Are we gonna pay our bills with points? What are we gonna do with those points? We cannot pay the rent with points. That's what they're doing. So this message is for Lyft and Uber. Stop trying to make us happy with points, rewards, platinum, gold, whatever you wanted to call it. Stop trying to make us happy. I just got an email from Lyft saying we just updated our app. Now it's easier to navigate on the app because it's less tappy. Who cares about how many times to raise the per mile rate? That's what we care for. So stop trying to make us happy by putting updates on the app. Stop trying to make us happy by giving us points. We just need them to raise the per mile rate, and that's gonna make us happy. Okay? Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for coming.
So I misspoke. We have a rideshare guy. We have a truck. I can never say your name. Apptrepreneur. And we have another YouTuber here. And a lot of these sites are really important to bringing drivers together.
Well, rideshare guy's there.
Bringing drivers together to fight for our rights. So this is really awesome to have the support of the social media community. It's really, really important to how we find each other.
Hey, how you doing?
I have a really great volunteer driver organizer and driver extraordinaire.
Hi. I don't have too much to say because everybody pretty much covered it, but in sum, thank you. We all know that Uber's top 5 execs made $143 million in compensation last year. We all know Dana Kaye made $45 million just himself. But a little calculation I made that you might not have heard. Last time I made my taxes, he made 1,500 times what I made as a driver. That's Dana Kaye. Oh, and that's before expenses, by the way. So I don't really think that's cool. We're all out here suffering. Who out here doesn't have health care? Who here is or knows a driver in danger of losing their housing?
Right here.
Who out here drives terrified of getting in an accident or getting deactivated and losing their source of income? With no unemployment, no safety net if that happens. That's right. And who out here is having a hard time getting by on 60 cents a mile? That's only 2 cents more than the IRS gives us as a write-off. And we know in 2 days, on Friday, Uber execs and investors are going to cash out their millions. When for the past 3 years I've been driving, they've been getting richer and richer while we've been getting poorer and poorer. But without drivers, they don't have a company. We are united. Every person standing here, striking today, that's right, we're getting bigger. And every person standing here is money Uber and Lyft are not getting today. And you know they're taking 50, 60, 70% of the fare, so the numbers are on our side. But there's nothing magical about Uber and Lyft. Their app is not a magic wand. They're just doing what Walmart and Amazon and every other lousy employer has done for decades, paying a dehumanizing wage and sending all the profits of all hard work to a few people at the top. Yes. That's right, we're all... They're getting emptier every year. But you know what? They weren't expecting this today. And frankly, neither were we. When we started planning Apps Off May 8th, we were hoping maybe a few more US cities would join. But we've been amazed by the response, by your response, and everyone out there's response. That's right. We have Chicago, New York, San Diego, San Francisco, DC, Boston, Atlanta, Las Vegas. Hey, you know what? Let's hear it for Fresno. Why not? Fresno joined in. I know. I'm not just talking about the United States. We got the UK. We got the UK on board. 4 cities over there. UK is having their own nationwide day of action.
South America, Central America.
Oh, hey, yeah. Australia. Before I got there. We got South America. Who got South America? Uruguay, Chile.
Peru, Brazil, Costa Rica. They're all with us. Bernie Sanders and Jeremy Corbyn thinking about us. That made me very happy. Everyone is talking about our plight today, not the Uber IPO. Our plight. Yes. And we're not going to stop until our elected officials make Uber and Lyft pay us compensation we can live on. Yes. Because there are hundreds of thousands of drivers worldwide, and in unity, there's strength.
Thank you, Alex. That's awesome. We're making history today because we're changing our response to the race to the bottom. And we invite every worker in these conditions to organize with us. And I want to give a special message to the investors. Investing in Uber, investing in Lyft is investing in communities with people who cannot keep a roof over their head. They're investing in companies that are skirting basic labor standards that are still the law of the land, and it's not right. I can't say it better than Alex. We're going to fight until we win. And we are going to fight. I'm sad to say we missed a lot of people who were waiting for the bus in the parking lot. Bus got lost. They're on their way. But it's good because guess what? This is a 24-hour strike.
Yes, it is.
People turned off their apps at midnight. They're going to keep them off till midnight. And we're going to be here to remind people not to order Lyft or Uber rides and to not take Lyft or Uber rides. Drivers and passengers united. And I want to say to those drivers who are driving today, our fight is not with you. It is our deepest request that you come with us, because together we can win. But I'm also pleased to say that the queues at the airport are down by 50%, which means most of us full-timers are not driving today. After we wrap up here, we're all gonna get back to the departure lane and remind everybody what we're doing. And it's not easy to picket. It's a lot harder even to not work when you haven't paid the rent yet for May. And that's the situation most people are in. The courage of the people standing in front of you, the courage of some of you out there is incredible. It's the decision to support each other and our future together, which means we're going to go back to departure lane and we're going to picket. I know a few people have peeled off to the Uber lots to remind people, and the Lyft lots to remind people, hey, we're striking today. So that's also really good, but we really want some numbers on the departure lane, okay? We will, for those of you picketing this afternoon, we're going to bring a taco truck in this afternoon, starting around 5, so you guys can get some food. And I want to say that all this stuff from the shuttle bus to the pizzas today, to the tacos this afternoon, is because of the generosity of the labor movement, individuals who believe in us, and us giving $5, $10, $15, $20 to make this happen. Woo! Whatever you can give, it makes a big difference. So, I think we still, do we have any pizza left over there? I think we may be out of pizza, but we're not out of picket. And we're certainly not out of strength for this fight. So I will see everybody at the departure lane. The shuttles will continue to run until about 9:30 tonight. So if your car's over there in the lot and you're still here at 9:30, get on that shuttle so you can get your car. You can repark here till midnight. And then still pizza. So there's still pizza. And so I just want to make it sure. So we're going back to departure. A couple people will go to the lots, but we want the majority of people on the departures. Okay? That's where media is looking for us. It's where passengers don't know what's going on. And we will see a lot of drivers, and we can make sure they know not to drive. We don't want to get in fights with those drivers. We want to talk to them. We want to bring them along. A lot of people we're talking to, we say we're striking today, and they turn off their app like that. They just have 5 to 7, tacos here. Okay? 7 to midnight. We're keeping people's apps off, and we'll be at departures and in the lots to remind people not to drive. And then we're going to go home, and we're going to watch ourselves on the news. We're going to watch the world on the news of Lyft and Uber drivers fighting together. I want us to remember that we are powerful together, and we can win. Thank you. Sí se puede. 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 Sí se puede.
All right, so that was the speech. Anyway, we want to clear up one miscommunication. The rideshare guy actually is here today, and this is our first formal meeting.
That's right, we've never met in person.
No, we've only talked on the phone.
Nice,
So
nice.
I'm glad you could be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think what she thought you were
To be, you know, everything.
My name is
Oh.
I'm one of the logistics officers here for LA Rideshare Drivers United. We're going to prepare for the picket.
Hey, is Jay here
back
today?
to the picket
He's
line.
in San Francisco.
Oh, he's in San Francisco. Oh, okay. I thought he was local for some reason.
Where do you live?
So in the next
I
couple
live,
minutes,
in
we're
Orange
going to start
County.
organizing the march
So
down.
a little bit of a drive, but not too bad.
Can they hear us?
I believe they can. I mean, we're live streaming. I've got the microphone.
But since
So,
there's
yeah.
limited room, we are
Anyway.
asking those who can walk to
What do you
please
think?
follow us.
Oh,
Please
it's
start
funny,
to
you know,
congregate
the first
towards
time
the
I-
end of the park over there,
I was skeptical
and we will
about
guide
all
you
of
on the
this,
way back to the picket line.
but I was convinced to go to the last strike and was pretty impressed with the big turnout. And they're getting bigger.
Thank you so much.
Well, I think you and I have been around for a while. So
Oh,
we've seen
yeah,
a bunch of
5 years.
strikes in the past. That, maybe
Oh,
a handful of drivers.
This is the
10,
first strike that's
20.
actually worked. That's
Yeah.
actually people showing up. I go to strikes, and you're right, 10 people show up, and it's like, all right, whatever. That was a waste of time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think here you saw at least a couple hundred drivers, media, food, buses, shuttles.
Okay, this gentleman here has lost a car key.
I personally think that's like
So
a
if
sign
anybody
that
sees a car key,
I don't know
please
if
bring
this
it
is
to
the
this
best spot for them
gentleman
to
or to
speak.
me. We don't want him to go without his car key.
There was a lot of free parking though, so that's
Yeah. But you know, the funny thing is, as much as they kept cutting the rates, I kept saying to myself, but I don't see the protests, I don't see the strike, so obviously the drivers don't care, but now that I'm seeing this getting bigger and bigger, it's like, I think the drivers might finally be starting to care about that.
well, I mean, it sounds like they just need to continue getting the word out too. It seems like a lot of the drivers that I've talked to just sort of, more off of social media, just kind of doing their thing. They may not even know about the strike too.
Right. Well, and also I know there's a new Uber tuber out there, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to cause a fight. He seems like a nice guy, but he's been saying, hey, I've been driving for a year and everything's worked out good for me. And it's like, yeah, I think Uber capitalizes on that. So that's why there's not a lot of strikes, because the turnover is so high. Those people don't even, when they realize they're getting screwed, they leave, and then the new generation comes in. But it's getting harder to get new people in, and now people are noticing on a larger scale.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, right, a lot of the new drivers that have never experienced rates before, they don't know what it used to be like. They don't know what it could be. So I think that it sort of makes sense that Uber, if they're having issues with their current drivers, they're trying to look and say, hey, how can we hire a bunch of new drivers to replace these old drivers? But I definitely have found that a lot of the, I think a lot of the drivers here that are striking, they're supporting it. Seem like, they're telling me they've got 5, 10, 15,000 rides. So they've definitely been able to, if you can figure things out, you can kind of make it work. So they're the ones that are hurt the most by the strike and the rate cuts and all that.
Right. In fact, one of the things that I tell people, because they come to me and they, in my comments, I'm sure you get these too, like, well, you know what, I drove 60 hours and I made this much money. And I like to say, well, in my day, I feel like an old man, you could work 30 hours and make twice as much.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's definitely, I think pay is the number one complaint from every driver, obviously. That's why a lot of people also quit, frankly. So I do think that, I like what their demands are. They're demanding minimum hourly pay. Because I think, I've been talking to a lot of drivers who don't want to be employees, who don't want benefits. So I think if they're pushing more for unions and more for benefits and things like that, it's going to be hard to get all the drivers to buy in. But one thing everyone can agree on, whether you're full-time or part-time, everyone wants to be paid more. Everyone wants Uber and Lyft to take a lower commission on, their fares, capital commission. So those are the things I think they should focus on. It seems like they are.
Right. Hello. Right, and see, I lost my train of thought there. There goes another plane. But one of the things that, because I've been pouring through the IPO filings, there's a lot of interesting stuff in those IPO filings. I got to do like a 4 or 5 hour live stream just combing through it. But one of the things that Lyft said that was really concerning was like, we can't afford minimum wage. Is it something along that line? It's like, that is problematic for everyone when you can't afford minimum wage.
And I don't think that's true. I
don't think it's true either.
Even, I interviewed a guy from Lyft the other day, John McNeil, and what he told me is that he kind of said that passengers set rates, and that's sort of Lyft's newest line when you ask them why they're paying drivers more. It was the first time I've ever heard it, so it kind of made me pause at first, and I thought about it, and I said, that doesn't make any sense, right? What we've seen over the past 5 years, Uber and Lyft have lowered rates, and they're now losing money on every single trip, as you said, right? In the S1 for Uber and Lyft, they say they're losing money on every trip, and it's because they've continued lowering rates, right? So they can easily raise rates back up, and that actually will help them make money. They'll do less trips overall, but for them to say that we can't raise rates is kind of just a lie.
Right. And of course, lowering rates and prices in general always drives people. Like a lot of people know I also cover MoviePass videos. Well, I was a MoviePass subscriber for I've been a subscriber for 5 years at this point, maybe 4, when they were like $35 a month, and that's still a good deal for me, unlimited movies, and it had 30,000 subscribers. They lowered it to $10, and you saw millions of people flock to it. So I think, I personally think that, if you lower the price enough, people will always take advantage of it. But whether or not you have a truly good business is whether or not people want it when it's priced what it's worth.
Well, also you think about here in LA, they're paying Uber drivers 60 cents a mile, taxi drivers charge $2.70 a mile. So that's almost 4 times more, right? I think that obviously that's pretty extreme.
Right.
Uber and Lyft can easily raise their prices, still, be very competitive with all these services.
Personally, I think if they charge, let's say $1.85 a mile, 20 cents a minute, that's still more reasonable for the drivers, still undercut the taxi driver. Plus, I think as time has gone by, I think there's the real reason people like Uber and Lyft more than just the rates is that it's convenient. It's so much more easy to get an Uber or a Lyft than a taxi.
Well, I think it's tough when you look at it. The easiest thing to say is, I want to make more money, I want to be paid more per mile. But I think probably $1 to $2 per mile is reasonable to pay drivers, but at the same time, like in New York, where they instituted the minimum hourly wage, I like that model a lot better because it's utilization based, right? If you have a higher per mile rate, but you're not getting any trips, who cares what the per mile rate is, right? The nice thing about a minimum hourly wage is that it incentivizes Uber and Lyft to only put the right number of vehicles to match demand. Otherwise, they could pay drivers $5 a mile, and if there's no trips, then we're going to be complaining about that. So that's one of the things I like about the minimum hourly wage.
Yeah, although I've heard some conflicting reports that it doesn't really work out to a minimum wage for the drivers, but
Why is that?
just people have said that that after like the fees and everything they get a little less than the minimum wage. But I'm not from New York, and New York is such a different market. Like, I actually almost try to avoid talking about New York stories because I'm always getting something about it wrong. So, well, anyway, folks, we're going to talk to some of the drivers as well, other people. But hey, thank you, Harry, for showing up. I'll shake your hand again.
All right,
we'll have to. I'm sure we'll be in contact. Maybe we'll do a collab sometime.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you for being here. All right.
Hi, Harry. How are you?
So, all right, folks. So, this is where the Asperger's becomes a problem. It gets so crowded in these noises. So I'm going to take a moment to breathe. Let's see. Is there anyone else here that we can talk to? Anyone else? Any other familiar faces other than the rideshare professor? He got his little cameo in here. Let's talk to some of the. Oh hey! Oh hey! How you doing? Good to see you.
I just got this my first time fraudulent activity at the airport. I accidentally started the trip. I went to the Uber office and I explained to her, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I started the trip. She didn't come out for 10 minutes. I turned it off. I canceled the trip. You don't have to give
You're getting deactivated?
Further improper use. If it happens again, we're going to deactivate it. After I went to the Uber office, they said, no problem, I understand. You made a mistake. I made a mistake in the house. I made one mistake, you're going to deactivate it for one trip.
Wow.
You have been flagging for fraudulent activity. Crazy.
Thank you. I love it.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear
Yeah. I gotta say hi to this guy.
That's terrible. Yeah, Uber. Uber. This is the average Uber driver, and this is what your BS policies do. Like 10,000 trips. Very loyal, by the way. He still wanted to drive for you, and you deactivated him over your mistake.
No, they didn't deactivate.
They didn't?
They said one more.
One more.
If it happens again.
So this is a warning. So you're still driving.
Red flag warning.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Red flag. Slightly mistake.
Okay. Well, slightly better news that you're not deactivated then. But yeah, they shouldn't be flagging you for that in the first place.
One trip in 10,000 trips. I probably have 1,000 at the airport. I made one mistake at the airport. This is what I get. I threatened.
That's all it takes.
They told me at the Uber office that I'm okay. It was an honest mistake. And 10 hours later, I get in from some other country. I get this message telling me that they investigated and it's fraudulent activity on my part. That can be a little unethical. You can be a little bit nicer that I made a mistake. I'm sorry, you made a mistake. Don't let it happen again. Or you're in not compliance with the rules. But to threaten me for making a mistake, it's like no loyalty.
But that's how they work. That's how their unhuman algorithm works. They don't see that it was an honest mistake. That's why learning algorithms never work. And they say, okay, this type of speech is banned, but then when people are even talking against it, the algorithm will still pick that up. So there's no such thing as an honest mistake when you got an algorithm as your boss. Well, at least you haven't been deactivated. And I'm glad to see you again, by the way. Good to see you too.
What's up, Kevin?
Hey.
Apptrepreneur.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Bruce,
You're Bruce. Hi. Nice.
I was on your channel.
Oh, you were. I remember. I think I do, though.
I never show my face.
Oh, you never show.
I don't use my name.
Oh, sorry, because there was a Bruce on my channel. Well, anyway.
Let me get your opinion on what you saw today.
Sure thing.
Keep it like that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Here with Kevin. How do you say the name?
The Apptrepreneur.
Keep going.
I know. It's not as good. It's harder than rideshare, Professor.
Yeah. So Kevin, tell me what did you think about the rally today? today compared to the first one, and what you heard today. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, there was more media here. Always a positive. The speeches were more or less the same, with a few little differences. But that's fine, because the point is to keep the message simple and consistent. So definitely a positive. I think he spoke at the last one. Hi.
You did. I saw you.
You're the Apptrepreneur.
Yes.
I saw you on
Yes.
I follow you.
Oh, you follow me.
I subscribe to your channel.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Both got an interview. That's okay.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, one of the,
This is like the Matrix now. We're all
I'm sorry.
now on.
Go on and get in. Go on and get in.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Oh, a little closer. Okay.
It's great.
What's your name?
James.
I don't know if this is the best spot for them to do it.
No, but I didn't plan this part of it.
Right.
I just helped try to get news people here.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Oh yeah, there's a pot of grass over there. No one ever uses it. I wonder why.
Yeah.
I was just getting Kevin's opinion on this rally in contrast to the first one. What are your thoughts about what happened locally?
Well, I think for one we had better mic systems going on last time. We just had a bullhorn and we just had to yell everything out. But I think we had a mic. We had just as much, or maybe even more, people showing up to press. So that was a lot better. We have more people joining us worldwide. So I think that's a huge achievement. When we first started this in January, we had only 120 people join us. Then in March 25th, we only had 350 people show up. And I think we're going to have 500 to 600 people coming in and out protesting throughout the entire day. But now we've got 20 cities worldwide, so this is huge.
Yeah, there's at least, last I checked, there was at least 7 confirmed cities doing this, which is a step up. By the way, one thing that I will label as a bigger success this time around, and one of the reasons they're doing this is to protest the IPO. Yeah. And yesterday I did a little experiment. I know some of you watching this live, you're hearing this again and again, but that's talking to new people. Yeah. So I searched Uber and Lyft. I just searched those in Google and Bing, and more articles about the protests that drivers were protesting came up than the IPO launch.
Oh, man.
So
this has been something I've been meaning to ask you since I've been watching your channel. Why do you hate Uber so much? I mean, it seems, I know like the basic reasons why you hate it, but you just seem to have like something beyond, like, what, did something personal happen with you and Uber, or what?
I hate Uber because I love them. I mean, that sounds like an oxymoronic thing to state, but it's like, you know, when I started Uber, I had lost, I mean, if they asked me to make a speech, this is what it would have sounded like. But it's like, I had no job, and I was depressed, and I found this thing, and I could make money from it. And then I loved doing it. I loved talking to people. I talked to...
All right, ladies and gentlemen!
I helped people with their doctor's appointments. Some people... I took a family home, and the family... I connected with the son because he liked Sonic the Hedgehog, and I had a Sonic shirt. And I really wanted to do it for a long time. And then just to see the way that they treated not only me, but everyone else, it's like watching a loved one kind of stabbing you in the back. It just, you get very bitter about it. So that's actually why I still talk about them, because there's always that hope that they'll get better at some point, and
that explains a lot to me about your channel, because I was just like, man, this guy really has something really personal above and beyond them just cutting rates and stuff. That I give more respect to you, because you know, a lot of stuff you do I don't agree with. A lot of it I do. A lot of you just reporting.
You don't have to agree with everything.
Of course, nobody is. I like your fights with the Chicago guy. I love that shit. That's good.
I don't like those fights.
It's good YouTube.
I'd leave.
But I mean, he has his opinion. I don't agree with a lot of stuff he says too.
Although he's finally coming to our side, whether he'll admit it or not.
He is. He has his own reality.
To be honest,
but I mean, everybody has their own opinion, which is good.
What Kevin is doing is the highest form of love. Whenever you love something, you want it to change. You want it to change for the better. You realize how good it was in the beginning of the relationship, and all of a sudden now it's terrible. You're just trying to find ways to salvage it. That's what real love does. And I spoke to somebody earlier who said, what if Uber goes bankrupt? Would you be happy? I'm like, no. I don't want Uber to die. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I want to save the baby.
No, when you look at the things that Uber did good when they started out, they made transportation more convenient. They made it cheaper. They created thousands of jobs, thousands of good jobs. And then today, you started out like, you know, we're here for you and we're in this together. And then today you get an email from Uber. And I'm going to make another video about this because I took a picture of it because they didn't send it to me, but they sent it to someone else.
Yeah.
And they said Uber is a part-time job. Like, that's always what it is. And it's like, that's basically them trying to give the middle finger to everyone. It's like, no.
First off,
no.
Ride sharing is not a part-time job. And think about the concept of a part-time job anyway. When you're doing a part-time job, you're doing it why? Because your full-time job isn't paying you the fair wages that you deserve, right? That's the only reason why you would work 40 hours a week someplace and then have to put in another 10 to 15, 20 hours a week somewhere else, because your main job isn't giving you the right opportunity to earn ends meet. So this is not a part-time job, because many people like myself who started working a job in the car salesman industry had to quit that job because I was facing eviction. And when I got into the part-time job of Uber and Lyft, I started making way more money at the part-time job than I was at the quote-unquote full-time job. Many people will find themselves in a position like mine, where they decided to work Uber and Lyft because they were making $1,300, they were making $1,500, they were making $2,000 a week. You know, so that's a full-time job, right? That's full-time job money. And when you think about the incentives, they want you to drive how many rides for bonuses? 80 trips, 100 trips, 120 trips. You know what I mean? Who driving part-time can make those full-time driving rides for a quote-unquote a part-time job?
They know you can't make that.
They know you can't do it for a part-time job. It's a full-time job. What's going on, man?
Now, it's funny you talk about like the quests, because a few years ago there was like a quest, and if you did 200 rides, you would get a bonus.
Yeah.
You want to know how much that bonus was?
How much?
$2,000.
God, jeez, damn. God damn.
And I did that 3 times.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
In fact, some people don't remember this, but way back then, my channel was giving people advice on how to drive.
Damn.
Now I don't even do that because it's like, what advice is it? I mean, I know there's advice to give, but it's not advice I can get behind.
No.
I mean, you know, I had this very snarky response to someone who said that because I wasn't driving and like, hey, if you did this, you can make a lot of money. And they said, why don't you have time to do that? And I said, well, I'm sorry, I'm getting married. Now that was snarky, but later on I thought about it. It's like, you know what? When I did this, I was making full-time money, part-time hours, had a life. And now it seems like if you want to do this full-time, you're not going to have a life.
No.
And I don't think that, and I think that's not a great message to send to people.
The nature of work is changing, okay? Technology, the invention of the iPhones, the invention of apps to make money has changed the way people can earn a living. We have to expect that the law and that jobs would evolve with the times. So if you can make full-time money, driving part-time, doing something that you like to do, who says you have to work 40 hours a week for 40 years for $40,000 at a quote-unquote real job? This is a real job. You put your bodies on the line, you know what I mean? You put your car on the line, you invest many hours to make sure contributing to society, contributing to the way that people get around. This is real work. And anybody who would say that it's not real work is kidding themselves.
Right. Exactly. Well, hey, I want to talk to at least one more person before we end this live stream. But hey, thanks for talking to me.
Hey, good to meet you.
Good to meet you too. And wait, here's our Rideshare Professor cameo, folks.
We're live to live.
We're live. Like I said, it's the Matrix.
I like the speech at the other one as well. That was awesome.
So anyway, we're gonna move. Got to talk to one more person, then I'm gonna end the live stream, and then I'm gonna film things in power saving mode. That's what we're gonna do. Okay. So anyway,
I made all those bad comments on your channel.
Oh, okay.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
I've got it. I've seen your Twitter threads. Yeah, my advice would be.
I wanted to thank you so much.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Apptrepreneur. Sure, if you want. Okay. Oh, no, that's not. Thank you. You're welcome. Have a good one. You gotta love when you do it live. So.
Yeah. No, honestly, man, my thinking is just like I'm afraid to get in. I'm afraid to get in bed with another capitalistic enterprise, or at least one that doesn't, have the long-term benefit of workers in mind, as far as like making them partners of the company, like what Uber and Lyft said that they would be at the start. So if you have some kind of like profit sharing scheme or something like that to like make drivers invested in the company or something, then and if that $200 wasn't like a sunk cost, if it was if you did like $2 per ride or something like that from your first 100 rides, and then after that it's free, then I would be like I would be more willing to spread the word and evangelize about that.
Actually, we're going to go public. We already said that, and the founder and CEO of the company is actually the gentleman that invented Shopping.com, the first online retail store. Thanks to him, Amazon existed. So he disrupted that industry, and now he's coming to disrupt the disruptors. There's no small players, that people that are coming to start this.
I think that's exactly what we need. We need people to disrupt the disruptors for sure.
So hey, Josh.
Hey, yeah.
I'm sorry that we had to cancel.
No worries. I know it was very obvious how sick you were. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Well, still got the cough, but we're out of the fever stage. So anyway, folks, this is Josh, one of the Rideshare Drivers United coordinators, right? That's your official title.
Yeah,
we are going to be making up a live stream soon, and in fact, it might even work out better because we can kind of talk about how the strikes have been going as they progress. But I wanted to personally apologize. I was really looking forward to it. Thank you. Anyway, folks, I'm going to end that now, and then I'm going to put the phone in power saving, and I'm going to record some of the protests at the airport, and we'll put them up in videos later on. But you know the drill. Hey, you want to hold up the sign real quick? Well, this is how we'll end it. Go to driversunited.org.
I don't have that. Yeah, drivers-united.org. Sign up. Even just drivers, passengers too. We need all the help we can get from activists across the board.
So sign up, comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. Stay safe out there. Don't drive, and
play responsibly.
Thank you. And of course,